you should know that by being a racing driver, you are under risks all the time. By being a racing driver means you are racing with other people. And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. Because we are competing to win. And the main motivation to all of us is to compete for a victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Sprint Series Season 1. But we're here for round 2 at the Daytona International Speedway. It's going to be an absolutely crazy ride for all our drivers. At the moment, they're doing qualifying, and looks like our live timing just went down. But we'll get that up and going and get everyone sorted out. Welcome to RaceFace.Pro. It's going to be a great one. Now, our championship is getting a little bit closer. It's getting a little bit more wild. Last week, we had our GT3s going around. This time, we're going to have all our Indy cars going around. So, this is going to be a proper run here at Daytona as we take a look to our qualifying at the moment. Troy Dolanczyk in the lead with a 131.7. But not far behind him, Raymond Duggan, oddly enough, a driver that not usually towards the top, but he is well known for doing well in prototypes, so IndyCar goes and suits him quite well. Alex Moore jumping up into third place, getting chased down by Willem Buerta, who's also trying to raise his way up the order. Paul Gerber in 5th, Ryan Ottens, Gerald Ferree, and then going a little bit further down, we have got Stefan Kutzer, who is running in 8th position at the moment, getting chased down by Malcolm Pringle, as we get Van Rensburg puts himself right up into 2nd place, giving it everything he's got in the IndyCar, and then having an absolute run of it. So Stefan Kutzer down into 10th, Malcolm Pringle into 11th, Timothy Stanton is out on track, Luka Logovic, Ron DeToy, Sean Sims, Noah Hendricks, Brandon Robert, Robbie Teens, Gareth Britz, and then some new drivers to come and join. It's Varawa, who is coming to have a bit of fun. And for anyone that doesn't know this name, well, get to know it very well. A very accomplished go-kart racer here in South Africa. And going to be, I promise you, going to be soon to be big champions out there. Glad to have him out on the track, looking to have a bit of fun. Gareth Britz, Timothy Stanton, Luka Logovic, Ruan Toya, Sean Sims, Noah Hendricks, Brandon Robert, Robbie Teens, Leon Vessels, Tristan Porchita, Tiras Porchita, I do apologize. Then we have got Do Gerber, Dino Machai, Francois DeToy, he's making his way around, Willem Pinot, Roland Ferreira, Peter van der Spey, Paul Webber, Paul Nadir, Luke Lucchesi, Johan Free, and at the back is Jaco Krobler. Going to be having a bit of fun. He will be running the team heat together and having a bit of fun out in the IndyCar. So shout out to him and good to see you out there. Now, for those who are wondering, Luke Lucchesi, one of our top drivers, not getting a timeout on the board. Well, he has actually got a qualifying penalty. So he's not allowed to go and put himself out there. And that, unfortunately, is going to drop him down the order. He's going to have to work his way back. But at the moment, Alex Moore at the top of the charts with a 131.6 ahead of Troy Dolanczyk as he tries to get the time in. Willem Buerta giving it everything he's got to try and close down the gap. And as he makes his way into the Roval, down the gears, Goes out wide, comes back in and gets on the throttle, but no, he's actually slowing down. That's going to be him. So it looks like a couple of our drivers saying that's going to be that. Taking a look to our virtual grandstand. Wyatt Peters, is this still happening? Yes, yes it is. We have got wild things happening, Wyatt. Glad to have you here. So Lags, going and talking about, well, the only thing you got to know about the Team Slowpokes is all the unusual information that comes crawling out from it. Some say another one of them isn't a washing machine. The other one of all their potted plants is called Steve, but all we know is so Slowpoke Racing. Well, Slowpoke Racing comes out in force. Then we have got Niall Bullion going in and supporting Alex Moore, Team Logistical Nightmare Racing. And Niall's also one of those proper runners. Louis Nokia giving a bit of a shout out to Luke Lucchese as we get ready to go. But let's take a look to our grid as everyone gets ready to rock and roll. Jan Free, Alex Moore, Troy Dolenchik, Jan van der Rensburg, along with Raymond Duggan, Willem Buerta, Steven Kutzer, Ryan Ottens, Paul Gerber, Sean Sims, Luca Logovic, and Peter Meyer. Going a little bit further down, Malcolm Pringle, Gerald Ferree, Sarad Verwara, Gareth Britz, Timothy Stanton, Randa Toy, Noah Hendricks, Brandon Robert, Robbie Teens, Leon Vessels, Tiernas Porchita, and Doug Herber running in 24th. A little bit further down the order, we have Dino Machai, Francois Toy, Roland Ferreira, Willem Pinot, Peter van der Spey, Paul Weber, Paul Nadir, Luke Lucchese in 32nd, and Jaco Krobler starting in 33rd. Now, we do know a couple of drivers haven't been able to get their best times out there. They're going to have to keep that well in mind. But we have also got our tire compounds. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, with Indy cars, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Tire compounds during the pit stop, you got to swap out. It's mandatory to swap out your tire compounds, and a lot of the cars starting on softs. Then we have got our primaries, which are our white wall tires. And those are a little bit harder. So a couple of drivers going to be going on the red, as we see the likes of Jan Ferree going to be starting out, and he is actually on the primary tires. So he's on the white walls. He's lining up next to Alex Moore, who is on the alternative. That is the softer blend. So Alex is hoping to get that quick jump off the line and hoping to get going once again. A bit of support out there, and Slowpoke, please have my babies. Well, that's a interesting sign out to have in the crowd. But what the drivers are going to be thinking about is Daytona, round 2 of the IndyCar Sprint Series. Now, they've got a very short Heat 1 and Heat 2 that they're going to be well aware of. They got to pit, they got to change tires, and will be going racing. So Jan Ferree, looking to start out ahead of the pack, has got Alex Moore lining her up on the outside. He's going to get himself ready to go. You can see Troy Dolenchik and Van Rensburg keeping nice and close. Van Rensburg getting quick bit of heat into the tires, hoping that he can get the launch off the line. Alex Moore will be keeping close as they make their way around. Safety car giving them a nice little guide as they make their way around the Daytona Oval. Beautiful shots of all the IndyCars guys trying to warm up their brakes and get ready to launch off the line. Safety car lights are off, so we'll be pulling into the pit soon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to go wild for our RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Series. And this is round 2 as our safety car will peel off into the pits, allowing Jan Ferree to take the pace. Everyone getting ready to rock and roll, tightening up, wait for the green flag, and away we go racing. And it looks like Alex Moore had a terrible start. Troy Dolenchik diving up on the inside, getting our first run as they launch their way into turn 1. And Raymond Duggan getting a fantastic launch. So watch all the cars pile their way through. So Raymond Duggan up into 3rd place. Alex Moore down into 4th. And now has Van Rensburg chasing him down, trying to make all his way. Oh, bit of contact as well. So our drivers going down the order. And we heard a little bit of a radio there of some guys not too happy of what's gone on. So I'm going to have to be very cautious of the race going forward. So Jan Ferree out in 1st place. Now got Troy Dolenchik all over the back of him. These cars do have quite a few spares back in the pits, so if they can limp it back to the pits or get towed back in, they can get a bit of work on the cars. Troy Dolenchik trying to keep nice and tight to Jan Ferree, battling it out, and Van Rensburg dropping a bit behind. 1.2 seconds has got Willem Buerta closing up in tow as they make their way through off the oval into the bus stop. It's going to be late on the anchors. Try and swing the car in and get it going once again. Now, these Indy cars do have a push to pass. Once you're activated, you've got to keep your foot on the gas, and that means it will keep on going. But another little caveat to that is you've got to go and monitor, because if you use your push to passes here in heat 1 and run out, means heat 2 you're not going to have anything. So you got to be very, very cautious with the different heats. As you see, Willem Buerter lining side by side with Van Rensburg, trying to get the run as they enter turn 1. Van Rensburg keeping his nose firmly planted in, gets the pass done, and Van Rensburg doing everything he can. Our top 4 all over the back of one another, and it does look like Van Rensburg, he will have to sit behind Jan Free, who is now running in second place. Free losing out to Troy Dolenchik on the way through. A little bit further back though, we've got to talk about Ryan Ottens trying to make his way through. Varawa now also trying to gain a little bit of time. Luka Logovic going and closing up that gap way, way quickly. And a little further behind him is the likes of Sean Sims trying to make his way through. Peter Meyer chasing him down, will be a little bit further back, lying in 9th position, followed by Gerald Ferree, as we do see a lockup. And that, unfortunately, was Luka Logovic going and landing up with a bit of a problem. Now, I think he clipped the tyres. Noah Hendricks going to be further down, and like a stealth fighter is on the charge. Gareth Britz chasing him down and hoping that he can get into the fight on this gaming Nitro team. Having a great bit of fun there. He's got Paul Gerber now in tow. Paul Gerber, part of the team Try Hard, will look to try quite hard to get that pass done and dusted, but really work as hard as he can, stepping on the gas. A little bit further back, we now have Brandon Roberts, Luka Logovic, who's managed to get himself going. Doesn't look like too much damage has happened to that car, so he's going to have to keep it very well maintained. But we do have a bit of a fight. Roland Ferreira and the likes of Leon Vessels. Leon Vessels stuck on the outside, and Roland Ferreira on the inside in the 33, hoping to carry on the momentum as they go side by side, really screaming their way through, and a monumental run. This is going to be a proper and going to have an official run through it all. Vena Kursop missed this due to tech issues. iRacing did not want to join hosted session, but I can join officials. Actually ran into that same problem a little bit earlier with the practice, Vena, and landed up restarting iRacing and it clicked in. So that does end up with a bit of a problem. Oh, we do see that is one car that's going desperately slow behind and falling through, and I think that might be Paul Gerber. No, that wasn't Paul Gerber that got caught out there. Was that Paul Webber? No. It was one of the cars landing with a broken nose and losing out a bit of drive. But let's go back up to a running order, because Troy Dolenchik not breaking away from Jan Ferree and Van Rensburg, keeping very close, gets a lot of drive, but now the tyres are going to start getting to a fallout point and losing out a bit of time. And we've got Willem Buerter closing up the gap. He's going to be trying to get into the fight. He's on the primary set, so can go a little bit longer in his drive, but it's all about how is he going to carry the momentum through at this point. As they launch their way through, looks for the inside line, can't quite get it done as we take a look. Let's go on to the roll bar though, as we see a bit of a fight happening just ahead. You can see how Jan Ferree lost out the drive from Rensburg, going to go around the outsides, got major grip, having to saw their way around, and from Rensburg going a little bit on the inside, carries a lot of momentum, but take a look at Ferree laying in the fight. He's doing everything he can to just try and pull himself back. Unfortunately, lost out that little bit of a drive into the slipstream, looks for the inside line. Kenny goes for the braking though. Got to be so careful not to lock it up. And this has allowed Ferrara to get into the fray of things. First time out and making his debut run, and is in for an absolute cracker of a drive from karting. Has done the likes of was OKLSA, and he did well there with the karting sim. He's now trying his hand at IndyCars here at RaceFace.Pro, going up against Willem Buerter. Willem Buerter going and showing that the BWT car is not going to back down from the fight. He's going to continue that drive as fast as he can to make it go. So this is going to be a proper charge down the wire for them. Immediately, Jan Ferree now losing out that little bit of ground. He tucks in right behind the likes of Van Rensburg, trying to pull himself through as they go nose to tail at this point. Free needs to try and keep as close as he can, as he suddenly has Buerta running out the outside. 3 wide into turn 1. Oh, contact with Van Rensburg, and the likes of Free has dropped him down. Troy Dolenchik just narrowly got away from that one, and that has allowed Willem Buerta to get his pass done. Vawa losing out a little bit of time there, and Free losing out major time with Van Rensburg over that bit of contact. And Van Rensburg with a bit of a broken nose will suddenly have Sean Sims going after him and looking to try and tighten up that gap. Peter Meyer a little bit further back, going and putting in a great bit of chase at the moment. He had a little bit of the word spoken to by his team captain, Tristan Herbst, going and saying, right, you need to focus on the charge here, you need to keep your head in the game and work your way through. Noah Hendricks around the outside with the harder tires, gets the pass done and dusted on Brandon Roberts, who has fought it out in the F4s to try and claim for the top positions. Now he is looking to really carry the momentum through and see how can he make up that little bit of time. It's going to be a proper chase on the way through. Roland Ferreira a little bit further back, trying to get a little bit more time, as we do see Van Rensburg losing out that time, being a little bit more gentle. Nose is broken, so he's going to have to get it into the pits. Going to be a perfect time to swap out the tires, because he can get a fast repair and come back. And speaking of Tristan Herbst, we actually got him in the grandstands, and well, I'm going to say, if he wants to come and join in the bit of fun, more than welcome, Tristan, to come and be in the commentary box. It's always an honor to have our top runners going and having a bit of fun out there. Tristan, who has been working rather hard of late to keep himself all in check. So as we wait for our drivers to really boot their way around, show what they can do, we do see Van Rensburg in the pit, so he's going to be swapping out those tires, ensuring he can stay in the mix. Doug Herber looking to also gather a bit of time after Robbie Teens ahead of him, and Roland Ferreira as he tries to get a little bit more pace underneath him, hoping that that's going to be enough to claw his way to victory. And well, there we go. Straight out, I would love to, but I can't because I'm not home. Well, enjoy the time off then. Tristan, yeah, absolutely go mad around it. So, a couple of drivers now working their way through. Brandon Roberts is in the top 10. He's the only one on alternative tires, the softer compound, so he's hoping that that's going to get a little bit more time. Everyone ahead of him is actually running the primary compounds. That means those are the harder spec tires, the white walls, that is going to be chasing down. Robbie Teens a little bit further back, feeling the pressure. Here comes Doe Herber into the toe, pulling himself along. Doe's going to look at the wall. He's going to try and get himself back into bus stop though. Give a little bit of a release. Try and claw your way through, and then keep your foot on the gas all the way out into the push to pass, and hope that it's going to close down the gap as fast as possible at this point. As he tries to look up high, couldn't quite get the pass done and dusted there. He's going to have to run a little bit high line, carrying as much momentum, but turn one's going to be tricky. It's an off-camber corner, so he's going to stay high to try and battle it out with the likes of Robbie Teens. Teens going to defend that inside line. Doug Herbert trying to bring it back. Unfortunately, not enough grip to stay in the fight there. Sean Sims all over the back of Peter Meyer. Unfortunately, couldn't get that one sorted out as Peter Meyer gets on the gas, utilizing every bit of power he can to just try and break away at this moment. A little bit further back though, we have got Van Rensburg. He's trying to make his time, as we do see one of the Omnis Gaming drivers coming out of the pits as he makes his way through. So Van Rensburg, after having a bit of a broken nose here, is on the straightforward attack to Gerald Farid just ahead of him as they make their way through. So proper fights up and down through the order, and everyone having to try and figure it out. Pit stops happening out all over the circuit with 10 minutes and 30 seconds completed. We'll keep an eye on as many battles as possible to see how this is all going to go. Syed Vara is now trying to close up that gap to Willem Buerta, but at the same time, he has got Farid closing up that gap, trying to make a bit of time towards him. They cut through the back markers a little bit, but now it's going to be who's going to close up the gap a little bit more on the running order. Jaco Krobler has also clawed up quite a bit. Got to go and touch base with him, because he's actually pulled himself up to 21st position after having a bit of a problem. So he's managed to make a bit of time, and we'll look to keep up the drive. I'm just trying to see, where's Luke Lucchesi? There he is, Luke Lucchesi going around. He's in 27th position. Remember, he had a little bit of a problem at the start, and now he's trying to just pull himself back through the order and stay within the fight going into Heat 2. This is Heat 1, ladies and gentlemen. Heat 2 will be coming up, and our IndyCars will be showing off what they can do here at RaceFace.Pro for the likes of the IndyCar Sprint Series. Round 2 here at Daytona, as we keep an eye on Vawa, who's closing up that gap, loses out a little bit to the likes of Buerta ahead. Troy Doldenchik checked out of the fight long ago at this point as he carry on the drive. Really looking forward to what he can do through it all. Peter Meyer closing up the gap to the likes of Sean Sims, trying everything he can, keeping a low line, but he has got a bit of damage to that front nose. That is going to be a bit of a difficult time out there and having to really claw his way through. So let's take a look at the running order, as we do see Troy Doldenchik out in first place, Willem Buerta currently running in second, so Vawa in third, followed by Johan Ferree. Going down, fifth place, Sean Sims, Peter Meyer, Noah Hendricks, Robbie Teens, Doug Herber will be making his way around. He's in ninth place, chasing down the likes of Robbie Teens as quick as possible. Leon Vessels, Roland Ferreira, Peter van der Spey is making his way through. He's down into 12th position, still on the climb though. He climbed up 17 places from that start. Willem Pienaar in 13th, Rian de Toy, Jans van Rensburg further back in 15th, Gerald Ferree, Francois de Toy running a little bit further down in 17th. Raymond Duggan, followed by Timothy Stances. We did see Raymond Duggan actually with his side pod on the right-hand side. He has scored a bit of damage there, and that side pod is no longer in the best of nick. So he's going to pull into the pits and try and get that sorted out. Timothy Stanton's going to be coming past him. Brandon Robert, followed by Dino Machai, Paul Herbert, Ryan Ottens, Jaco Krobler, Paul Webber, Luke Lucchesi, and Gareth Britz a little bit further down. He's on trying to climb up the order, lying in 27th position, but actually down 11 places from where he started, as we do see Martin Cars ducking off the track. Steven Kutzer running down in 28th. Tianis Purgita a little bit back. Malcolm Pringle, Luka Logovic as just coming out of pit lane. Paul Nadir, who is unfortunately out, along with Alex Moore. So there has been a bit of a change there. Troy Doldenchik trying to carve his way through, getting quite an easy pass on the 28. And getting it all sorted out. And 28 is Paul Webber going and saying, all right, buddy, I'm not in your fight, so I'm going to open up that gap. But happening a little bit further back. This is a fight for second place. This is Willem Buerta dealing with Vawa, going in around the outside. Vawa's going to try keep it all together, looking to get as much grip as possible. Stuck on the outside in turn one, forced out to the fringes. Buerta not backing down from the fight, will walk him to the fringes of the track here. Buerta not going to back down from the fight. And I gotta say, Buerta is very well known to get his elbows out in a proper drive. And at the moment, they have got the number 4 car, and that's Alex Moore that's on the back of him. So Alex is just keeping up at the moment. He can't get into the fight, but seeing the battle for second place right ahead of him is Johan Ferree. And Ferree just in shot. You can just see that number 14 starting to gain a little bit of time. And, sorry, Ferree is actually the number 16 car. So he's a little bit further back. Do apologize. The number 14 is actually Malcolm Pringle, who is closing up on Tianis Purgita. So Vawa making his way past. Buerta made his way past the back markers side by side as they head into the bus stop, and Vawa getting it absolutely hooked in. Gets ahead of Buerta. Buerta's going to try come back at him into the slipstream, pulling himself along closer and closer, and going to look for a high line. He's going to really have to push it here. He needs to try come a little bit lower down the drive if he wants to get as much acceleration as possible and really get that top end. Carving his way through, fighting it out. These two are not backing down from the fight. Second place is well enough alive. Into turn one, late braking for both. And it does look like Buerta's got to try go for the undercut. Couldn't quite get it done. Vawa just keeping ahead. Nose to tail, they go. Vawa having a great battle as they fight their way through. A little bit further back, Sean Sims, Peter Meyer, Noah Hendricks all over one another. Noah Hendricks down the order as he chases down Peter Meyer. who's got his elbows out. I mean, this is a driver who in ACC, in the world of, well, all I can say is in the world of ACC GT racing, he's a bit of a scratch your head guy, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. Well, in IndyCar, he's missing part of his nose, but still sticking in the fight, hanging into that top 10 as it stands. Noah Hendricks is going to be closing down, analyzing everything. Noah Hendricks is one of these drivers that will analyze, much like Yaz Samai. But, well, no, actually, Noah Hendricks is worse on that. He analyzes everything. He actually live streams out on Twitch, not for people to watch him, but he live streams so he can re-watch his race and his inputs, just to learn. But take a look at Sean Sims. He's losing out the drive to Peter Mauer, who's actually lost a part of his nose. He's got no downforce on that nose. He's trying everything he can. Willem Buerta still in the charge with Vara, going and battling it out. They are running out of time, but remember, they both need to still do a pit stop to swap out their tires to the alternative. And this is going to be a little bit of heartbreaking. The longer tires are coming in as we see the fight carry on through. Noah Hendricks getting the pass done on Sean Sims and Peter Meyer, trying to make his way through, just not able to top end. Does close up rapidly, and you can see how Sean Sims running into a bit of a problem, runs out wide. Peter Meyer needs to get on power early, couldn't quite get it hooked in right underneath the gearbox. Got an eye out through turn 4 on the brakes, couldn't quite get that nose turned in as much as he would like. Sean Sims going to live another day here and carry on the drive. A little bit further back, Robbie Teens just keeping ahead of Doug Herber, gets a tank slapper on the way through, and now Leon Vessels will be closing up the gap. We did see Luke Lucchesi was getting into the fray there, and a little bit further down, Van Rensburg lying in 11th place. He's got the likes of Pinar chasing him down, and Pinar's going to keep a huge amount of pressure on him as they fight their way through here at Daytona for the RaceFace.Pro. Round 2 of the IndyCar series. First season we had the IndyCar. A lot of people, including myself, were like, well, I'm not quite sure how the racing action is going to be. Well, I gotta say, I'm happy to eat my words there, because it has turned into a wild one as we take a look at our drivers absolutely nailing it up around the oval. And it's still Troy Dolenchik opening up a 7-second gap. Surad Vawa trying to close up the gap to him. Willem Buerta actually dropping back a bit, now having to try and make his way past. As we do see, that is Jaco Krobler just minding himself out the way, not wanting to get too involved in the battle, as he will rewatch and see how things are going and try and analyze where on earth can he get a little bit of time. Jan Farid with a bit of a broken nose, trying to get that a little bit further on. Noah Hendricks trying to make a bit of time as well. Doug Herber, though, is still in the fight with Robbie Teens. Robbie Teens now getting caught up behind him on the back mark, because he needs to try and figure out where on earth is he going to get the pass done and dusted in the DHL colours. So Teens is closing up to that shell-powered number 17, and that is Luke Lucchesi. They will be passing him. Luke Lucchesi running in 25th position can be rather helpful at this point to help go and close the gap up. Paul Herber fighting in 20th position. He's trying to get past the likes of Peter van der Spey, does so around the outside. Peter van der Spey keeping the inside line, is going to have a lot of pace, but can he sweep across the nose? Those soft tires are going to be eating it at the moment, and, well, looks like Paul Herber making very short work, runs out wide, and sees Willem Pinar just coming out of pits. Willem Pinar standing on the gas. Can he cover off? Here comes Paul, looks up on the inside and gets it hooked in. Pinar goes out wide, trying to bring it back, losing out 2 positions on the way through. Peter van der Spey managing just to link himself in there, and now Raymond Duggan hoping to close up that gap. Ryan Ottens will be trying to chase him down on the way through. The Alpha Esports, the Alpha 1 Esports trying to do everything he can. Dino Marchai going and making his run through here. He's getting chased down by Detoy. Jaco Krobler a little bit back in 24th position as he stands on the gas. Luke Lucchesi will be coming at him as fast as possible as he takes a look behind and sees a monster battle happening right behind him. And that is Doug Herber and Robbie Teens that are not holding back against one another. They are doing everything they can to stay in the fight. Back up to our fight for second, and it's still Willem Buerta doing everything he can to stay ahead of Vauer at the moment. This is turning into an absolute ding-dong battle for these two. From out the box, they are chasing each other down, and I can tell you the entire crowd going and shouting out to all the drivers. We even got Intrepid Travels, who's actually got a sign out in the grandstand saying, "Go Leon," as he chases down in 9th place after Doug Herber. So absolutely incredible stuff. Brandon Robert a little bit further back though, as he closes up. Peter Meyer gets it all out of shape, and Meyer loses out that drive. Brandon Robert says thank you very much. Peter Meyer, unfortunately, will have hurt those tyres quite a bit, so he's going to have to try and drive through an absolute terrible flat spot with the cars. Troy Dolanchik into the pits. Vauer's into the pits. Buerta's going to carry on. Free actually going to carry on as well. So they're going to go and stretch it out a little bit longer at the moment. And let's see who else is going to try and stretch it out as Free pulls in. Vauer's in the pits, and it does look like Leon Vessels dives into the pit, so he's going to try and undercut Doug Herber. Doug's going to keep on the drive and hope that he keeps it all together as he chases down Robbie Teams, not backing out from that fight. And Gerald Ferree going after Ryan Dutoy, and Dutoy just ahead of him is not going to make this easy. Getting right up against that rear spoiler, couldn't quite get right underneath him. Going to go out wide, try and sling it back, as they do have two cars coming out. That's Vauer and Ferree coming out of the pits. And are they going to be able to get ahead? Yes, they do. Vauer stuck on the outside. Suddenly has Ferree looking to get past. And Vauer just couldn't get that grip down and dusted. Will try and battle it out again. He's going to go side by side at the moment. So Vauer needs to go after Gerald Ferree. Now has got Jan Ferree looking on the inside. Jan trying to be a monster. Sends it in. Vauer's in a bit of a problem here. Jan Ferree is trying to go for the pass, and Vauer big send on the inside, and that left Gerald Ferree to go and hold up likes of Jan Ferree, who actually landed up catching his nose on the back of the gearbox there. We saw the wing break as he went in. A little bit of a late dive, unfortunately, cost him the time there. Vauer took a deep breath and absolutely sent it on the inside to get it all done and dusted. Willem Buerta into the pits. Let's see who else is going to dive, because Noah Hendricks now pulls into the pits. Troy Dolanchik, who pitted a little bit later, will continue the dive and move his way back up into the top order. Doug Herber keeping nice and low, and he's also pulling into the pits with Robbie Teens. So the two are diving into the box, as we do see Troy Dolanchik a little bit on the dirt, trying to get himself all sorted out. It's on the softer compound tires towards the end of this race. Let's see how far can he make it through, because it's going to be Van Rensburg that is jumping his way up the order, hoping to close up to Willem Buerta, who's just exited the pits. So Buerta has done a nice drive to put himself into second place. Van Rensburg into third, Vauer into fourth, along with Jan Ferree and Gerald Ferree onto the back of him. And Noah Hendricks coming out of the pit lane will put himself in 7th. Sean Sims coming out of the pit lane will get going ahead of Robbie Teens, Doug Herber. Roland Ferreira in a fight of note with Peter Meyer, and Peter Meyer battling against the ETA Autosports, and it is all about the ominous gaming, who takes the dive. So Peter Meyer outbrakes himself, loses out the run to Roland Ferreira, and now Brandon Roberts going to have a look. Brandon Robert really looks to go for the second, couldn't quite get it done. So Peter Meyer having to pull himself back a little bit, see where he has to go, late on the brakes once again. And Peter Meyer has a very, very difficult time to just get it all hooked in. Not able to get the drive as much as he wants as he gets close. Oh, he hits wheels. He hooked wheels with Roland Ferreira. That's broken his nose, and I would say damaged the front suspension as well. Got a little bit too overzealous there. Brandon Robert did have a bit of poor entry, but will continue the drive out, as we do see the fastest lap time set by Troy Dolanchik on his way through. So a bit of a change up there. Van Rensburg now all over the back of Vauer, tries to close up the gap, goes up high, and Jan Ferree a little bit in the background, keeping an eye on the battle. Vauer on the inside line trying to deal with Van Rensburg, who just tries to go around the outside, as we do see Jan Ferree late on the brakes, actually going and locking up that left front, trying everything he can. And Van Rensburg, who is definitely having a bit of a problem here, he is on the primary tyres, he's on the harder compound, so he isn't going to have as much grip as the rest, but he has got the tyre life to try and stretch it out, hoping that if he can keep enough pressure on these guys, there's going to be a drop-off point at some point of this race. But Jan Ferrari keeping a very close eye on him as they fight their way through. This is going to be a monumental fight for our drivers as they go late on the brakes, trying to pull back and do everything that they can. And it is going to be some side-by-side action on the way through, carrying as much momentum as possible, battling it out. Everyone hoping that they can get that little bit more up the road and see who will be able to stand at the top of the order here. It's going to be a very, very difficult situation for our drivers looking to go and secure a win every step of the way. As Troy Dolenchik still leads out that pack. Willem Buerta running in second place, lying 13 seconds behind. Vauer running 6 seconds behind him, but Jan Ferrari has gotten ahead of Van Rensburg. So Van Rensburg really needs to get into the fray here and try and close up that gap. Goes up high, sees that there's going to be a little bit of a hard braking as Jan Ferrari needs to really take a ginger through turn 1. Gets on the power, a little bit of a step out there, but he's able to control it and bring it back. Gerald Ferrari trying everything he can, running a little bit down the order, and Noah Hendricks running in 7th position. Will hope to carry as much momentum as possible. Sean Sims is running in 8th, as I do see our live timing dropping out once again. Man, a little bit on the frustrating side, I won't lie, to see it bug out like this. This is rather frustrating, and I do apologize to everyone for some odd reason. But we keep up with the battles. We can try and follow it all the way through, giving you all the running orders as Troy Dolenchik leads out that pack. Will have to do everything he can. Sean Sims running a little bit further down. Robbie Teens keeping ahead of Doug Herber as they make their way through. Time running out though, and it's going to be a close fight. Ruan de Toy running in 11th position. Brandon Robert running in 12th. Roland Ferreira in 13th position. 14th is the likes of Willem Pinot. Leon Vessels trying to close up that gap as Surad Vawa and Van Rensburg look like they're having a bit of problems out there. As we see Vawa stuck on the inside. Jan Ferrari lining himself up, try to go around the outside. Just able not to get it all hooked in as quick as he would like. Vawa needing to really stand on the gas at the moment to try and get the momentum as they fight their way through. Vawa going a little bit out wide has cost him a bit of time. Ferrari going to try take the dive. He's going to go around the outside but line himself up for the inside. Can he hook it late on the brakes? Goes side by side. Vawa could not get it hooked in, and now losing out that little bit of ground. Sees Van Rensburg a little bit further back. Will be coming to a fight, but Ferrari has retaken 3rd place away from Vawa as they battle their way through. So absolutely monumental battles happening up and down the order. Drivers really trying to open up this gap as quick as possible. Ferrari really needs to stand on the gas as Vawa closing right onto the back of him. Looks to the inside, tries to go for a pass in, heading into bus stop. It's going to be late on the anchors, turns it in, bouncing over the curbs, and just not able to carry on that drive as they claw their way through. Definitely some hard racing happening out here for our drivers as they battle their way on as we're running out of time. But there it is. Troy Dolenchik is on his last lap. He's just got to get this done. Willem Buerta in 2nd place needs to carry the momentum through. So we are watching 3rd, 4th, and 5th are in a battle for the top spot as we see Ferrari takes the inside line, trying to keep it nice and tight, knowing that Van Rensburg is all over the back of him. Vawa just ahead of him will try and continue as much as he can. Looks to go for a bit of a striking distance there. Couldn't get it hooked in. Runs out a little bit wide. Very close racing for Ferrari. Right up the gearbox of Vawa. Now needs to try and do what he can, as we do see one of the cars absolutely crawling. And that is Willem Buerta. Willem Buerta is running out of fuel. Willem Buerta has run out of fuel and is limping the car around. That means that we got Vawa for 2nd place, Ferrari and Van Rensburg. So Surad Vawa, Ferrari and Van Rensburg are fighting it out for the top spot. Troy Dolenchik will be making his way around. take the checkered flag, but now second place is on the cards here. Vauer, Free, and Van Rensburg fighting it out, nose to tail, as they chase each other down, doing everything they can. Van Rensburg got the overrun, heading into the bus stop. Can he get the jump on Free, who's just battling to keep that nose in check as they march their way through? Vauer holding on for dear life, utilizing that push to pass as a defensive mechanism for Heat 1. Dolenchik takes the win. And take a look at Jan. He goes up high. Free trying to go inside. 3 wide as they're heading down to the wire. Free gets the drop. And that is Van Rensburg into second place. Vauer gets into third. Or was it the case? Hard on the ankles to pull it back. And it does look like Vauer may have just got ahead right at the last. Wow, oh wow, what a chase. What a run. Jan Free, Sarud Vauer, and likes of Van Rensburg, who had a proper charge through the line. My heavens. A little bit further back, Robbie Teens comes across the line. Doug Herber comes across the line. Gerald Free, as our drivers try and pull themselves in check. What an amazing run for Heat 1. So, take a look. Troy Dolenchik has dropped down the order. Willem Buerta went and lost out. So this has really changed the game of how it's going to go. So for Rensburg, looks like he may have taken the win away from Dolenchik for some odd reason. Dolenchik landing further down the order gets 10th. So with that being said, let's take a look at our Heat 1 overall results. Just waiting for the drivers to finish up and everyone to be getting themselves ready. There's a couple of drivers starting to get themselves going out. Dieter Marchai heading out for his warm-up. Once again, apologies. It looks like our timing software a little bit running into a difficult time here. Not quite having the funnest of runs through it all. But Troy Dolenchik going and having a great drive. Oh, as we see Dino Marchai falling off the track and landing up in the wall there, taking a little bit too much pace. As we will be moving on to Heat 2 of our championship here at Daytona for the RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Sprint Series Season 1. And Heat 2 is about to start, so we're going through a little bit of a warm-up at the moment. And let's take a look to how the race is going to turn out. So, all our drivers now will have a 5-minute warm-up to get themselves going. As our drivers fight to work out what they need to do. This is a fixed setup series, so all drivers have a fixed setup on these Indy cars. Troy Dolenchik getting the win for the pros, followed by Van Rensburg, Sarud Vauer in third. Jan Free, Doug Herber, Gerald Free, Noah Hendricks, Timothy Stanton, Ryan Ottens, Peter Meyer, Willem Buerta, Luke Lucchesi, Luka Logovic, Raymond Duggan, Paul Herber, and Alex Moore. Rounding out our pros. Looking at our pro-ams though, the finishing order for Heat 1 was Sean Sims, Robbie Tees, Brandon Roberts, Roland Ferreira getting 4th place, Rion de Toy, Willem Pinot, Peter van der Spey, Leon Vessels, Francois de Toy, along with Jaco Kobler, Dina Marchai, Paul Weber, Gareth Britz, Stephen Kutzer, along with Malcolm Pringle, Tianis Polhita, and Paul Nadir, running out of Pro-Am. But overall results though, does lead into a bit of a special one. Troy Dolenchik got the win, 23 seconds ahead. But second place went to Van Rensburg, followed by Vawa, then Johan Ferree, Sean Sims, Doug Herber, Robbie Teens, Brandon Robert, Gerald Ferree, Roland Ferreira, Noah Hendricks, Ron DeToy, Willem Pinot, Peter van der Spey, Timothy Stanton in 15th, 16th Leon Vessels, Francois DeToy, Ryan Ottens, Peter Meyer, and Willem Buerta going and rounding out there. Moving a little bit further down the pack though, we have got Jaco Krobler in 21st, Dieter Machai, Paul Weber, Luke Lucchesi, Gareth Brits, Luca Logovic, Raymond Duggan, Paul Herber, along with Stefan Kutzer and Malcolm Pringle, rounding out our field there. And 31st is Tinas Porkita, Alex Moore, and Paul Nadir on that charge. So, 5 minutes going, and it is going to be a wild, wild one indeed. And who's going to be able to take the climb? Well, we will have to take a look at it. But so much will be happening here for the race. Lots of drivers are going to be thinking what needs to be done here. How can they go and do what they can? As we will take a quick look at where our points are looking at, because we do have multi-class, and we'll take a quick look at the current points after the running order. And it is Jan Ferree leading out the top of the pros with Van Rensburg in second place, Alex Moore, Doug Herber, Noah Hendricks running in 5th place, Raymond Duggan, Willem Buerta, Troy Dolenchik a little bit further down, Timothy Stanton, Luca Logovic, Gerald Ferree, Sirud Vawa in his first time out, doing a great job out there, Peter Meyer, Luke Lucchesi, Leighton Ferree, Ryan Ottens, Paul Herber, and Jeff Hancox is rounding out our pros. Looking at our pro-ams, as that's where it gets a little bit more alive. We have got Sean Sims, Brandon Roberts, Stephen Kutzer, Robbie Teens, Roland Ferreira, Leon Vessels, Paul Weber, Peter van der Spey into 8th place, Dieter Machai, Gareth Brits, Werner Swart, Ron DeToy, Willem Pinot, Francois DeToy, Jaco Krobler, Tinas Porkita, Etienne Swart, Vernon Kersop, Malcolm Pringle, and Paul Nadir. That is just a rough idea of how this is all going to look heading into the championship. So great to see that our drivers are going to be having a bit of fun. Let's go to our grid though, because we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to take the top 5 and invert them. So, Sean Sims, who finished 5th in Heat 1, will be starting first, followed by Johan Ferree, Sauert Vawa in 3rd, and Jan van Rensburg in 4th place, followed by Troy Dolenchik, Doug Herber, Robbie Teeds, Brandon Robert, Gerald Ferree, Roland Ferreira, Noah Hendricks, and Ron DeToy a little bit further down. Closing up the gap though, we have got Willem Pinot, Peter van der Spey, Timothy Stanton, Leon Vessels, Francois DeToy, Ryan Ottens, Peter Meyer, Willem Buerta, Jaco Krobler, Dina Machar, Paul Weber, and Luke Lucchesi. And we've got Gareth Brits running in 25th, 26th, Luca Logovic, Raymond Duggan, Paul Weber, Stephen Kutzer, Malcolm Pringle, Tinas Porkita, Alex Moore, and Paul Nadir will be rounding out our top order. So, with our top 5 got and inverted, it's time to go racing. And we can already see the tyres coming into play. Sean Sims is going to be starting in the primary tyres, so he's going to be on the white walls with Johan Ferree on the white walls. Then we have got Vawa and the likes of Van Rensburg on the softer tyres, so they're going to have a good run into it. But Troy Dolenchik running in 5th place is going to be very cautious on this run, as our drivers making their way through on the oval, going up high, trying to carry a lot of the momentum, warming up the brakes, warming up their drive. And this is going to be a bit of a wild one now as they line themselves up. Who's still got their push to passes? Who's got left in the tank? We're going to take a look as push to passes still got 200 seconds left on some of them. Others have used it quite a bit, so not ideal standings for our running order. And they're going to be very, very cautious with that sort of approach. So Sean Sims guides the pack. Ferree in second place, getting ready to go, lined up on line, green flags, and we're going racing. Sean Sims quickly getting on the power as it looks like the whole field going and clawing it through. Troy Dolenchik had a very open gap. As take a look at Vawa, huge send on the inside, try to get it done. Bit of an accident happening, and Ryan Ottens was actually part of that as they dropped down the order. But Sean Sims losing out the run to Troy Dolenchik. Vawa getting the best on them all, huge sends to get it all in. as they fight their way through. Van Rensburg battling it out against Sean Sims. And take a look, Gerald Farid, Robbie Teens, Noah Hendricks trying to make his climb back. Paul Gerber trying to make his climb, as we do see Raymond Duggan, Brandon Roberts, Stephen Kutzer, Timothy Stanton, Francois Detoy, and both Detroit's landing up in a bit of a problem. Nodia also, so a couple of broken cars off the start of the race, and that is going to shuffle things around. Noah Hendricks now trying to go on the attack as he sees Robbie Teens going after Sean Sims. Sims stuck on the high line though, will lose out to the likes of Robbie Teens, who goes on the inside, brings it all back, and you can see Sean Sims going and hunting down left and right. Robbie Teens going in more of a defensive at the moment, as Sims has to get off the gas, wait it out, closes the gap little by little, and now suddenly having the likes of Noah Hendricks coming at him at a rate of knots. So Noah Hendricks really needs to knuckle down on the pass here if he wants to get this all sorted out. A little bit further up the road though, Gerald Farid around the outside, doing everything he can with Van Rensburg side by side as they make their way through, and a little bit ahead, Troy Dolenchik having a good go at Johan Farid. Farid's going to hold the inside line, doesn't want to let Dolenchik have the easy run here. Dolenchik will need to really battle out. Farid runs him out a little bit wide to the fringes, keeping all together now, turning out for turn 3, locking down that inside line. Can he carry the momentum through? Farid looks to try and go for a pass, couldn't quite get it all sorted out, and has to wait it out as they battle their way through, turning into a monumental battle between all our drivers off the wicket. Dolenchik tried going around the outside, couldn't get it hooked in, and Farid keeping a very defensive line, runs him out wide, ensures that pass could still keep going. So it's Johan Farid, Troy Dolenchik, Janssen van Rensburg in third. Then we've got Gerald Farid a little bit further back and forth. Robbie Teens chasing him down. Noah Hendricks, Sean Sims, Paul Gerber, Alex Moore, Surud Vawa a little bit further down than he wanted to be, as we see Dolenchik taking a high line, swaps down to a low line just to get a little bit of a sweep heading into the bus stop. Is it going to be enough though? Lining up against Sidepod, side by side they go, late onto the brakes, jumps over the curb, and Dolenchik taking up that first place ahead of Johan Farid as they make their way through. Noah Hendricks trying to close up the gap as he sees Robbie Teens giving everything he's got, but Noah's got a terrible drive out of the bus stop. There's allowed Paul Gerber from Team Tryhard to close up the gap. Gets right on his tail though, pulling as close as he can to try and go for that pass. Not able to get it done just as yet. Noah Hendricks having to go very defensive, middle of the line, goes to low line to battle it out here at Daytona. Not going to be an easy one though, as they close up onto the back of Robbie Teens. And take a look at Sean Sims, not backing out of the fight. He wants to stay within the fray here. And Johan Farid going and taking Troy Dolenchik all the way to the limit as they fight their way through. Absolutely proper charge up and down as our drivers try and keep it going. So it's Troy Dolenchik, Johan Farid, Jens van Rensburg, Gerald Farid, Robbie Teens a little bit further back, Noah Hendricks into the back of him, as you see Paul Gerber trying to take a look on the inside, and Noah Hendricks trying to go around the outside. He's lost out a bit of time. Paul Gerber's got the drive, he's on the primary tyres, he's got plenty of grip here. Can he carry the momentum through? Noah Hendricks was a little bit early on the gas and able to get by. Sean Sims in the 8th position with Alex Moore all over the back of him. So Alex Moore's going to try and carry a lot of drive. Goes up high line, and now has got Vawa going low line. And Sims, not quite sure where to look, tries to go and battle it out. No one wants to touch that apron because it will upset the car. Vawa tries to get the drive past the likes of Alex Moore. Couldn't quite get it done, and had a little bit of a slowdown. So he had to back out of it. So Alex Moore feeling that pressure coming off. Luka Logovic seeing that Sarad Vawa's got a bit of a problem, will try and close up that drive, as we do see Paul Gerber going and battling out, gets past Robbie Teens, and now Noah Hendricks gets ahead of all of them. So Noah Hendricks carrying on the drive, fighting it out, but this has now turned into one heck of a battle, as we got a mixture of 5 cars going at each other. Paul Gerber stuck on the outside. There's now Noah Hendricks takes a low line, going to go into turn 1 side by side. Oh, Paul Gerber goes out. Paul Gerber goes out. He avoids the wall, but he's able to keep it going. Robbie Teens, though, is going to have the drive onto Noah Hendricks, and he's pulled Alex Moore a little bit closer. Noah Hendricks a little bit late on the brakes, runs out a little bit too wide, lost out all the drive, and here comes the likes of Robbie Teens and Alex Moore, now looking to put the charge on. Vawa and Sims a little bit further back are also trying to get into a fight of their own, as Moore looks for the inside line, couldn't get it done. Teens tries to come back at him, as they launch their way through, turning into a monstrous fight. No one wants to give up for Heat 2 of the RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Sprint Series, and it does look like Robbie Teens carries on the momentum with Moore on the back of him. Moore looking up high, looking up low, trying to see where he can go. Vawa trying to also get that little bit of momentum. Had a few slowdowns, but this is the time for him to make it up. Tries to go for the inside line. 3 wide, heading towards bus stop. It's going to be who's later on the brakes here. Very, very brave on all parts. And it does look like Robbie Teens carried just enough momentum to keep Vawa at bay. Vawa gets past Alex Moore, second guest getting into that fight, and will back out of it. As you see, Vawa goes up high, carries the momentum. If he can sweep across the nose, does so, he will get the pass done. So Robbie Teens now dropped a little bit further down. He's in 7th position. Alex Moore trying to close up that gap, and take a look. Sean Sims also rejoining the trade a little bit further back. This is a monster battle as Noah Hendricks loses out a bit of time. He loses out major time. Suddenly get pushed out wide. A little bit of a tank slapper for Alex Moore onto the way in. Goes side by side. Oh, contact with Noah Hendricks into the side pod there. Noah Hendricks managing to bring the car back, but Alex Moore having a difficult time. Will have to keep Sean Sims at bay, both carrying a little bit of damage, and that's allowed Robbie Teens to start getting away. But Suravawa now putting on the gas and giving it everything he's got as they march their way on. So Alex Moore now feeling the pressure, gets all over the back of Noah Hendricks, trying to reclaim that position. Sean Sims onto the back of him, doing everything he can. Luka Logovic running a little bit down in 10th position. 11th is Luka Kezi, followed by Dino Machai, Ruan Dutoy, Stephen Kutzer, Leon Vessels a little bit further back, keeping ahead of Doug Herber, who tries to go for a bit of a lunge. We'll take a look at Leon Vessels, no wing on the front of his car, so he's taken a lot of damage to the front of his car, and he's just trying to keep it going. Willem Buerta a little bit further back, followed by Tiernas Porchita in 18th, 19th, Paul Herber, Gareth Brits, Ryan Ottens a little bit further back. He had that accident at the start of the race. Roland Ferreira down in 22nd position. Peter van der Spey followed by Brandon Robert, Francois Dutoy, Willem Buerta, Jaco Grobler a little bit further back. He has got Malcolm Pringle trying to close up the time. Peter Meyer on his way, unfortunately, is out. Raymond Duggan's out. Timothy Stanton's out. Paul Weber and Paul Nadir, unfortunately, are the drivers that are out of the battle. As we get back to the sharp end of the field, Troy Dolanchik and Jan Ferree fighting it out. Dolanchik on the inside. Ferree tries to look around the outside, inside, swaps around, can't get on the power just early enough. Ferree loses out that drive. And now this is also allowing Van Rensburg to get into the fight as well. So Dolanchik, who's battling it out, needs to try and get this all buttoned up and get going, as he's got a huge amount of pressure. Ferree coming back at him as hard as he can as they battle their way through. This is going to turn to a monumental fight through them as they claw their way to victory. But taking a look at the sector times, it does look like Ferree has got the run to try and make it through. But take a look at Van Rensburg, faster in sector 1, but sector 2 and 3 not by much. Troy Dolanchik, though, is actually a little bit faster than Ferree through sector 1, 2, and 3, and sector 4 actually leaned in to Ferree's favor as they made their way through. So lots and lots of ideas coming out. Pit stop strategies, though, both having 5 laps on the set of tires. No one's changed within our top 9 to get into the pits. They all considering on the older spec tires, hoping that that's going to make the difference here, as we do see Ferree going up high, tries to carry a lot of the momentum through high line. Troy Dolanchik keeping that low line, switches up high, trying to do everything he can to defend, sweeps across around the outside. Can he keep it going? Runs out a little bit too wide, gets towards the dirt, has to back out of the throttle there, and Ferree keeping a solid drive through. Surad Vawa makes his way through as we see Van Rensburg and Ferree pulling into the pits. Gerald Ferree and Van Rensburg in the pits. Alex Moore into the pits, trying to get himself sorted out. Peter Meyer, unfortunately, out of the race. Raymond Duggan, Timothy Stanton, Paul Weber, and Nadir after a bit of a crash at the start of the race. It looks like all of them have gone and retired out of the race, which is rather unfortunate for the heat. Now it's all on the monumental climb. Noah Hendrick trying to give fourth, with Robbie Teens running in first and second. Well, he's running in first of the Pro-Ams, and Sean Sims trying to come back at him. So let's actually take a look and give you guys a little bit of an idea of what's actually happening, because we got 2 different classes racing with us here tonight, and everyone looking to try and put themselves at the top of the class and see where it could go. So our leaders in the class for our pros is Dolanchik with Robbie Teens, keeping the Pro-Ams alive as they fight their way through. Dolanchik starting to open up that gap. We'll have Farid looking around the outside. Farid carrying that momentum. Can he keep it all together? Goes up high. Tries to get on the gas a little bit earlier. Really punches his way through, utilizing that push to pass just to try and get it done. And Troy Dolanchik couldn't quite fight him out there. So Farid back up into the running order. Side by side they go as they fight their way through. Turning into a monumental fight at the moment. As we take a look at that is our running standings of our Pro and Pro-Am at the moment. You can see exactly how our drivers are trying to go through. Peter Meyer, Duggan, and Stanton, unfortunately, out of the running. And they are a little bit further down the order. They were running on the alternative. They were running on the softer compound. And due to an accident a little bit early on, that kind of dropped them out of the fray. So drivers need to really show what they can do here. With Farid keeping the pressure on. Dolanchik doing everything he can. Switches around to the inside. Going to look for a late lunge. Couldn't quite get it done. Power a little bit further down. Trying to make up some time. As we take a look to Doug Herber and Luka Logovic. Doug Herber with a bit of damage to the side of his car. He is hanging onto the back of Luka Logovic and trying to get a bit closer. Tennis Pukita coming out of the, will have a car coming out of the pits as Ryan Ottens keeps the pressure on to, as again, there's a little bit of time. Gareth Britz a little bit further down. He tries to look up on the inside of Ryan Ottens. Side by side. Oh, a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there. And Ryan Ottens loses out the drive. He's actually got a broken nose from that one. So Gareth Britz will have a bit of damage to the back of his car. Late live goes and moves out. So Ryan Ottens losing out that little bit of drive. Steven Kutzer in a fight of note. He's going after Ruan Dutoy just ahead of him. Two of the Team Slowpoke Racings trying to battle it out. And Dutoy hoping that he can carry the momentum through. Gerard Farid hoping to also close into that fight. Wants to really do what he can. Willem Buerta getting ahead of Leon Wessels. Leon Wessels with that little bit of damage backs out of it. He's going to keep the continuation of how the race is going to go here. Absolutely tremendous stuff. Back up to first and second though, as we do see Farid looks towards the inside. Couldn't quite get the pass done. Has to wait it out. Going to carry the momentum through. Needs to go on to the oval, so if you can keep in the slipstream through the infield, you will have a better run onto the oval. As they come up to the Daytona Oval, out of the infield, gets on the power early on. Dolanchik runs out wide, free, going and sliding the rear of the car, not having an easy time out there, all needing to get into the pits to try and get it done and dusted. And there is so far drivers that have gotten to the pits. Luke Lucchese went and pulled into the pits early. Jens van Rensburg has pulled into the pits early, but our top five are yet to climb into the pits for their run. So it's going to be a very difficult time. But let's take a look at the top speeds at the moment, because it's varying depending on where you are. At the moment, the fastest one was actually Luka Logovic on 3:17 in the toe, trying to bring himself towards it. So these cars are absolutely giving it horns right now, looking at what they could do. Getting the pass done and dusted. Farid having an easy one there. Blitzes past, but how long can he stay ahead? Because here comes Troy Dolanchik around the outside and couldn't quite get it done, as it's going to get a little bit busy for our leaders as they close up on a couple of the back markers coming out. Brits going and getting stuck on the outside line, wants to stay out there. We will see Peter van der Spey in the captain car as we see Farid gets out of shape. Dolanchik going to line up on the inside, trying to have a go at him. Side by side they go. Farid forcing Dolanchik out wide, late on the anchors, and Dolanchik just managing to get it in, really battling to get the nose to try and work with him as we watch Brits lock it up on the way through. So Troy Dolanchik staying in for the fight there, will be looking to try and make his run. Peter van der Spey, he is a little bit further back watching in his mirrors as he chases down Ryan Ottens and has the leaders closing up on him. So Peter van der Spey's got to be very careful here on his way through. Robbie Teens all over the back of Noah Hendricks, and he's got Luke Lucchese. Remember, Luke Lucchese started out in last place in Heat 1 due to a qualifying ban that he had to serve. He served it, got involved in a bit of an accident, so he too is the redemption arc for him at the moment. Goes up high as he tries to bring it back. This is turning into a fight as well. Every driver giving it everything they got, laying it all out on the line there, and even Niall an avid sim racer who I do want to point out was part of the logistical nightmare racing team that won the Majors 24-hour at Le Mans. Well, he's taking the hats off and saying these guys are absolutely blitzing it and enjoying it. So absolutely incredible stuff. I think all our drivers are putting on a great performance, as we do see Peter van der Spey is going to be a bit of a moment here for the likes of Dolenchik. Goes out wide, Peter van der Spey off into the dirt. Will lose out a bit of time. And Farid closes up that gap really into the gearbox of the likes of Troy Dolenchik. Couldn't quite get that pass done and dusted, and was really on that charge. Couldn't quite get it done. Surat Vawa a little bit further down, but one person that has gained 20 positions from the start of this race is Luke Lucchesi, running in 4th place. Robbie Teens a little bit further back. He's leading his class. Noah Hendricks trying to come back at him, along with Sean Sims, likes of Van Rensburg, Gerald Farid, Ruan de Toy trying to close up that gap. Alex Moore a little bit further back. And Steven Kutzer running in 12th position. Willem Buerta, Luka Logovic gets on by, followed by Dino Machai, who is getting chased down by Leon Vessels. Doug Herber a little bit further back, trying to make up some time, as we do see Tianos Porgita keeping ahead of Paul Herber at the moment. Roland Ferreira a little bit further back. He's dealing with Ryan Ottens. Gareth Britz trying to make his way through. He's hanging on to the leaders at this point. Peter van der Spey a little bit further back. He's going to try and make up some time. Brandon Roberts, Malcolm Pringle a little bit further back. Willem Pinot and Francois de Toy doing everything he can to stay within the fight, as these two try and keep it going. The ETA Autosport just mining out of the way. And Jaco Krobler, who is in the fight, keeping himself going at the moment and is really on the proper charge here. As we head back up to our leaders, our closest fight on circuit. Oh, as Free goes on to the dirt. A little bit of a touch there. Tries to pull it back. Couldn't quite get it all sorted. Once again on the dirt, he's going to try and have to get that all done and dusted. He has to get it a little bit more together, as we watch him frantically on the gas, sliding the car around up through the gears. Will be properly pushing as hard as he can, as Troy Dolenchik gets a little bit out of shape, locks up the rear, trying to slow the car down early on the power. You can see how quickly they go up through the gears, slamming it down. And now onto the oval, as the sun is starting to set, becomes a little bit more tricky out there as our drivers make their way through. Noah Hendricks, he's closing on to Robbie Teens. You can see how close they're having to really keep with one another. Looking towards the oval, Noah Hendricks down the gears. Oh, a little bit of a slide on the entry, trying to power his way through. Short shifts into second, goes up high, very close to the wall, lightest of scratches, but you can see now needs to follow, mimic it through. Closing at a rate of knots. Looks down low, onto apron, up on apron, as he goes side by side, charging their way through to the bus stop. Teens is under pressure. Noah Hendricks is going to try go for it, and Noah Hendricks unfortunately couldn't get the momentum through. Teens jumping a little bit over the dirt, will lose out a bit of time, and I wonder if he did get a slowdown a little bit there. I don't think so, but here comes Noah Hendricks having a much better exit. It's got to go the high line, going to midline, continues the momentum through, and now Robbie Teens losing out to Noah Hendricks as trying to bring themselves back. Noah Hendricks really carries the momentum through, gets ahead of Robbie Teens, but Robbie Teens under braking, looks to try and come by, dives up on the inside, side by side they go. Noah Hendricks tried to hook the front wheel into the side pod there, couldn't get it done. Teens really trying to keep it absolutely pinned at the moment as they fight it out. And this is a fight for 5th and 6th at the moment, as they monumentally put the charge on. Everyone hoping that they can get that little bit more up the road as time starts to tick away, and the pit stops will need to happen rather quickly for all the drivers on for Heat 2 of the RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Series, and it is turning into an absolutely madhouse of a drive all the way through. Gareth Britz, though, is all over Roland Ferreira. Roland Ferreira, the ETA Autosport, fighting out with the Armor Scaling Nitro. Britz hoping they can just carry a little bit of momentum, and oh, Roland Ferreira just having enough of the drive out there through the bus stop, keeping it all together. He is on the alternative tyres, so he has got a little bit of grip, but he has been on those tyres for quite some time. I mean, if we go and take a look at some of the pit strategy at the moment, Roland Ferreira will need to be very cautious on it, but our top 9, take a look. Jens van Rensburg and Farid did swap out their tyres and running 6 laps each. From 1st to 8th, though, they have not switched tyres in the running order here. As we do see a very close run as Roland Ferrer gets a little bit too close for comfort. Had to back out of there. Gareth Brits will maintain that lead. As everyone starts to open up the gap. Tyres starting to fade away at a rate of not. Ruan du Toit trying to carry his momentum. Gets onto the back of Gerald Ferrari just ahead of him. Gerald needing to get a little bit more of a drive on now as he looks into his right rearview mirror and sees, okay, I've got a bit of a problem here. Du Toit is going to be all over the back of me. I need to really run it out wide, a little too wide. Out of turn 1 into turn 2, turn 3, heading towards turn 4. Can he carry a lot of the momentum as we do have Du Toit? Runs out wide, going to go for an undercut. Tried to get for that pass done and Dustin really does take a dive. Looks like we did have a quick blip of network connection there. So Gerald Ferrari hanging on, has got Du Toit all over the back of him. Du Toit really trying to do everything he can. Looking around left and right, pushing as hard as he can in these Indy cars as they absolutely slam it to the ground. Drivers doing everything they can to go for it. And we're going to take a look at the gyro as we go up high. And a beautiful angle shot can show how much of a lean the car actually has as they head onto the embankment of the oval and comes down. Got to say, a beautiful, beautiful camera shot indeed as Ruan du Toit going and backing off into fourth gear, trying to carry the momentum through. Runs out a little bit wide and it is absolutely on, but this, he's using the push to pass to try and close up that gap. You would see that green border kicking up on that front. That means he's got push to pass. As long as he keeps his foot on the throttle, he'll gain that time. Can he make the pass happen? Yes, he will. And gets it done. Gerald Ferrari, with no push to pass, couldn't quite find him out. Tries to bring it back. So as soon as you see, oh, there's contact between the two of them, as it does look like Du Toit lost out the drive and into the wall. Du Toit into the wall, losing out that rear, and that was all she wrote there. We watched it all happen. He had the drive, had the pull, and unfortunately lost out that drive. Team's still trying to make up the time. Will really need to do everything he can to really pull it back. As we jump on board with him, no push to pass being used at the moment. He's just going to try and keep it absolutely pinned on the way through, properly slamming it through the gears. And these Indy cars are absolutely mental. Some of the fastest single-seaters that you can climb into with a huge amount of fun. Down the gears, through bus stop, gets a little bit of a tank slapper, holding it all the way through the gears, and you can see sliding the car around, just trying to keep it all together on the momentum as they make their way through. Troy Dolenchik, who did pit, is going side by side with likes of Sean Sims, who gets a pass done. Sean Sims, a little bit of a touch on the apron there, looks to dive down. He will be going into the pit lane. That's going to allow Troy Dolenchik to retake the position. Luke Lucchese into the pits. Noah Hendricks, Robbie Teens, all into the pit. Sean Sims and now Jan Ferrari will be taking that second place spot back. Van Rensburg trying to make his climb back up through the order. So Vawa going and battling it out. He's trying to do everything he can. He's got the likes of Gerald Ferrari all over the back of him. Ferrari is keeping a hard pass to try and get it done. Vawa going and maintaining that little bit of a gap. Locks down the gears, brings it back, stands on the gas as they chase down the number 13 just ahead of him. That is one of our back markers that needs to keep a very close eye on these two because they're going to come in like a rolling train, and that is Paul Nadir. There isn't Paul Nadir. No, there isn't. Do apologise. I'm trying to find out exactly who that is, actually. Gerald Ferrari trying to make his way past Alex Moore. Luke Lucchese trying to make his way, and that is the number 25 of Peter van Spey just ahead of him. So Luke Lucchese is going to try and look to carve him up quite quickly and get past. Tries to look for the inside line, couldn't quite get it done. Going to swap around. Peter van Spey giving a quick lift and allowing the guys to go and get on the drive. So absolutely great time for him to make short work of it. And now you got Luka Logovic trying to run outside a little bit wider, and his hopes to close up. Noah Hendricks going to be making up for the time. Robbie Teens in that battle along with Sean Sims. Willem Buerta dealing with Doug Herbert, trying to make up some time. There's Paul Herbert, Stephen Kutzer, Dino Machai, Ryan Otter's a little bit further back. Leon Vessels has got Doug Herbert, who tries to look for a bit of a pass there. Tried for a sneaky move at the moment, couldn't get it done. Will carry them a lot of momentum through. So Dolenchik got the win in our last one, but let's see if he will be able to do it again, because Ferrari puts in the fastest lap time of 1:29.8, which is incredibly quick. So Ferrari is not hanging about at the moment as they swap to the alternative tyres, the softer compound, for the remaining about 4.5 minutes left of this race as they power their way through. It's going to be an absolutely monumental charge for all our drivers. Doug Herber onto the back of Liam Vessels, couldn't quite get that drive as much as he would like onto the back. Alex Moore keeping a very close run on Gerald Ferrari. Luke Lucchese now having a good go. This is 5th, 6th and 7th all over the back of one another. Luke Lucchese trying to get a little bit more time as he tries to make up that little bit of a go. Roland Ferreira keeping into the train there, trying to see where he can fit in. Alex Moore a little bit further down, all over the back of Gerald Ferrari, who is keeping it all together. Remember, he's got a damaged front wing. He's lost a lot of aero on the front, and that car won't be turning in. Alex Moore getting caught out, and now getting a little bit unstable. Will all of a sudden have the likes of Luke Lucchese coming at him at a rate of knots. Will try to come at him, but it looks like jumping on. They are really giving it all. Push the pass activated for Alex Moore as he lines himself up, heading towards bus stop. Is it going to be enough though, as he does get ahead? Just. Can he carry the momentum through? Gerald Ferrari couldn't fight that push the pass, and now Luke Lucchese is going to have a good go at him as they make their way through. Also push pass. You can see how quickly he gets it done and dusted as they make their way through. So tremendous stuff from our drivers, having to think out of the box here. How are they going to do this? Unfortunately for Gerald Ferrari, he is losing a lot of time, and will have Luka Logovic in 8th place, starting to close up that gap at a rate of 9. Noah Hendricks dealing with Robbie Teens right behind him, and Teens is looking to try and pressurize him. So far, at the moment, he is leading our AM class. Dives up on the inside to try and get it done. Noah Hendricks runs out wide, brings it back, misses the apex though. Will run out a little bit too wide, has to try and battle it out, getting on the power, getting that rear to slip so he can carry on the run. Sean Sims closing up behind, trying to make up some time. He is running so far second in class, with Willem Buerta running a little bit further back. Willem Buerta into the dirt though, and into the wall. Willem Buerta smashing out, damaging that front suspension. Stephen Kutzer has got Paul onto the back of him. Paul Herbert trying to give it everything he can as they launch their way through. Paul Herbert really needs to try and get a little bit more momentum here. Ryan Otten's down a little bit further behind them, 18 seconds. But it's an outright charge right the way through the field as we enter the final 2 minutes of this race. It is an outright do everything you can. Oh no! We do have a car that spun off, and that was Stephen Kutzer. Overcooked it into the corner. And that was all she wrote. Let's quickly take a look at it. Oh, the rear just snaps out underneath him, and he comes back. That is not ideal. So we go back into running order. Stephen Kutzer losing out. A little bit of a run there. We'll have the cars coming at him at a rate of knots. Sean Sims trying to keep the battle as Robbie Teens runs him out wide. Sims stuck on the outside. It's going to be DHL versus the green as they fight their way through. Robbie Teens really leaning on the throttle here, tries to go for an inside line, holding it, runs the car a little bit wide, doesn't want to lose out the drive, and keeps on the power. Sean Sims couldn't quite get it done and dusted. They'll have to wait it out. Luke Lucchese is now onto the back of Vauer, just ahead of him. So Luke Lucchese keeping a very close eye to Vauer at the moment. Tries to look for the inside line, couldn't get that pass done and dusted. Will carry on the momentum as they really put on the power. Suddenly, it's going to be an all or nothing charge for our drivers. Really trying to dig in deep at the moment. Vauer holding a little bit up ahead. Will keep Luke Lucchese at bay, but Luke will want to use a push to pass. Is he going to be able to use it though? It's going to be a monumental effort. He is not using that push to pass as yet, as you don't see that green border on the steering wheel. That means that there's no push to pass activated. It's going to try and run it down the gears, in through the bus stop, 4th gear, feathering the throttle through. Keeping on the power, gets into the toe, push to pass activated, going to close up the gap. Vauer, with no way to fight it back, has got no push to pass. He's hanging in 5th gear, he needs to go up into 6th. He does so, but a little bit too late though. And here comes Luke Lucchese, gets the overrun, chases him down, dives to the inside line and gets that pass done and dusted. So Luke Lucchese gets a pass, but take a look, Vauer's going to try and have a go at him, and Alex Moore is into the mix as well. in the pink. So Alex Moore in the pink as Vawa retakes the position. Luke Lucchese had to keep it all in check. And now it's going to be side by side. Oh, Alex Moore into the dirt. Luke Lucchese went for a defensive move. Slams on power. Gets that rear to step out underneath him. Alex Moore lost out that little bit of ground. And now we'll be losing a bit of time there. Vawa dealing with Luke Lucchese as they fight their way through. But coming up to the line, ladies and gentlemen, after a monumental effort, is going to be the one and only Troy Dolenchik as he looks to get closer and closer to our running order. What a drive for Troy Dolenchik, taking a double win here tonight with Jan Free in second place. And then we've got Van Rensburg running in third. Luke Lucchese still trying to fight it out with Vawa. This is our closest battle. As we said, well done to Troy Dolenchik for getting the win. But now Vawa needs to give everything he's got. Has he got a push to pass left into it? Vawa getting a slowdown penalty. And unfortunately, that went and took him out of the running order. So Luke Lucchese will take that fourth place. Vawa in fifth. Alex Moore going to have a go at him though. Can Alex carry the momentum? He's going to look for the inside line. Is it close enough though? And no! Vawa just managed to keep ahead of Alex Moore. Luka Lagovic will come across the line as he fights it out. And Gerald Fourie, Noah Hendricks, Sean Sims, Robbie Teens, Paul Herber, Willem Buerta will come across the line in 13th position. Stephen Kutzer running down in 14th. Ryan Ottens, Dino Manchai, Doug Herber, and a little bit further back, Liam Vessels has got Tiernas Porchita chasing him down in 19th position. Gareth Britz finishing in 20th. Brandon Robert, Roland Ferreira, Peter Futzvey, Ruben de Toy, Malcolm Pringle, Willem Pinot, Francois de Toy, Jaco Krobler will be coming across the line as well. And unfortunately, Peter Meyer, Raymond Duggan, Timothy Stanton, Weber, and Nordia all unfortunately not able to cross the line for Heat 2. Wow, oh wow. Ladies and gentlemen, what a run. What a wild, wild race, might I say. And what a fantastic time to be alive right here at RaceFace.Pro. And well done to Sims taking the Pro-Am victory and Dolenchik with the Pro victory here tonight. But Dolenchik getting the double win here at Daytona for round 2 of the RaceFace.Pro IndyCars series. So, as we wait to get the official results coming up, and we'll go through our who is where. So, winning out our pros, as said, it's Troy Dolenchik, Jan Fourie, Jans van Rensburg, Luke Lucchese, Sora Vawa, Alex Moore, Luka Lagovic, Gerald Fourie, Noah Hendricks, Paul Herber, Ryan Ottens, Doug Herber, Willem Buerta, Peter Meyer, Timothy Stanton, Raymond Duggan in 16th position. Moving on to our Pro-Ams, it is Sean Sims, Robbie Teens, Stefan Kutzer, Dino Machai, Leon Vessels, Tiernas Porchita, Gareth Britz, Brandon Robert, Roland Ferreira, Peter Van Spey, Ruben de Toy, Malcolm Pringle, Willem Pinot, Francois de Toy, Jaco Krobler coming up in 15th, 16th, Paul Weber and Paul Nadir going and absolutely giving it horns out there. What a run for it. But thanks to some sneaky moves, thanks to Tim, we will get a rough estimate of what is our championship points going to look like come the end of this race. So we're going to try and retrieve some of that data and see roughly what our championships points may look like prior to any of our steward results. So let's take a look at it for our pro. Jan Free will be walking away in first place. Jans van Rensburg in second place. Alex Moore moving up, moving down into third place. Troy Dolenchik will hold in fourth. Noah Hendricks moves up 2, followed by Doug Herber, Sarah Vawa, Luka Lagovic, Gerald Fourie, Luke Lucchese up into 10th position. Willem Buerta, Raymond Duggan, Timothy Sandon, Peter Meyer, Ryan Ottens, Paul Herber, Leighton Fourie a little bit down. Well, he's down 30 positions. Jeff Hancock's running a little bit further down the order. And that is so far that for our pros. And taking a look at our Pro-Am standings by the end of it, That's Sean Sims, Brandon Roberts, Robbie Teen, Stephen Kutzer, Leon Vessels, Roland Ferreira, Dina Machai, Peter van der Spey, Gareth Brits, Paul Weber, Ruan de Toy, Tierra Sporgita, Willem Pina, Francois de Toy, Jaco Krobler, Michael Priggle, Werner Swart, Paul Nadir, Etienne Swart, and Vaynon Kersop running out our field. We did hear from Vaynon that he wasn't able to make the race. So what a run in our championship points. This is provisional until there is time to go. But we will be having a chat to a couple of our drivers because, wow, oh, wow, we've got to talk about what we just witnessed here tonight on a monumental effort. That being said, but one effort was put in by all our drivers clawing their way through to the top running order, and we'll have an interview with as many as we can as we relive some of the action here tonight for this epic battle. So, bringing in our first driver, let's bring in Sean Sims for Slowpoke Racing, who got the win. Sean Sims, welcome to the commentary box, and wow, oh wow, let's talk about the amazing fight you had in Heat 1 and in Heat 2. Wild stuff. We're really living some of the action that is happening on track. 3 wide into turn 1. Always a crazy situation out there, but how are you feeling?
How's it? Yeah, I'm overcome with emotion, really. I don't win many races, so I'm really stoked. But that was insane. That first couple of corners was all about just staying alive, really, and trying to stay out of the way of the pro guys. And I managed to do it, and it paid off.
Well, you're actually taking the fight to the pro guys. Nora Hendricks is also in the pro class, so you are properly in for a fight there. But, I mean, this is a wild track in the IndyCars to try and keep it all together. And also, the push to passes is a different feature. How many times did you have to use the push to pass as more of a defensive measure than an attacking measure?
Yeah, so the thing I've been doing, more than anyone, I think, is I've saved all my push to pass until I change to my tires in the end, and I just use it almost flat out push to pass for like the last 5 laps. And it's worked every race I've done so far, although I've kind of given my strategy away now.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, there's a variety to it. So you use it on the attack and the defense for it. But take us through the race at hand, because you were going nose-to-tail racing with Robbie Teeds for quite some time. Noah Hendricks, I mean, everyone was having a good go, and you managing to walk away with the win in the Pro-Ams. I mean, that is an absolute great run, but it also helps you in the championship points for the Pro-Am, because you now lead the Pro-Am points on 230 points provisional. This is provisional, but you will have Brandon Roberts and Robbie Teens coming back at you at a rate of knots, looking to try and dethrone you from that. But all in all, I mean, how does it feel to be in that championship fight?
Yeah, I'm really happy, Stephen. Like I said, I don't win many things, and I'm actually have a chance of doing something here, so I'm quite stoked. The main thing for me with these races is to realize, there's 2 races going on at the track at the same time, and just try and learn who you're actually racing. So if the pro guys come around, just let them go. Don't waste time fighting them, and it's really paying off.
Absolutely. Now, the discussions, obviously, with your teammates in the car, was there a lot of chatter, or did you just unplug the whole radio and stuff it? Let me go and just focus on my drive, because you guys are in your own little story there.
Yeah, the first few laps I try and just mute the world, because it's absolute chaos and you're just holding on for dear life. But strategy does, racing with a team makes a big difference, especially if we've got guys who are pro and pro-am. So, you're not wasting time. You're letting the pro guys by, you're not wasting time in front of them, and it does help a lot, having teammates who can help you out.
Well, I mean, we're taking some beautiful shots of you going and finding out with Robbie Teens and Noah Hendricks going up high. The 3 cars all together. There was no room for error out there. It was all just putting on the fight. Which part of the circuit did you find the slipperiest? Because we saw in turn 1 was a little bit of an Achilles heel, as we do see you run out wide, braking a little bit later, trying to get the car all sorted out. And then it's at 2-3, that snaking, that lands up with a bit of a problem.
Yeah, those sections were really, there was definitely a lot less grip than all the practice service we did, so it was quite tricky. Yeah, I had a really good race with Robbie. Those last few laps, all I was trying to do was sustain the slipstream. I knew if I passed him, then he'll get me again on the final lap. So my whole plan was to try and pass him on the final lap, and yeah, luckily it paid off.
Well, absolutely incredible stuff, Sean. Now, anything you would like to say to all our amazing petrol heads out there that have been cheering you guys on, but also to all our partners being a part of it, Scallywags Drifting Academy, Red Star Raceway, and also JMD for being part of the RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Series Round 2 done and dusted in 2 weeks' time. We're looking for Round 3.
Yeah, so I'd like to say thanks to the team, Slowpoke Racing. We're such a great team and we're growing, always looking for new members, but you know, we help each other improve. And just this league, I never really thought I'd get into league racing, but this is the most fun I've ever had. And it's so well run, it's so well organized. The commentary is excellent, so 2 thumbs up to you, Steve. And the sponsors making this happen. Thank you very much.
Well, absolutely incredible stuff, Sean, and thank you very much for the compliments. But now the target's painted firmly on the back, and you've got a lot of work coming through the field.
I'm happy to be the target.
Absolutely love to hear it. Sean Sims of Slowpoke Racing. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you very much.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Well, let's move on to another driver to come through. Let's actually bring in the likes of Luke Lucchese, who was on the climb. Luke Lucchese, welcome to the commentary box. And, well, what a night for you. Starting smack bang at the back of the field in Heat 1 because you couldn't get out for qualifying. You made your ground up. You had a little bit of carnage at the start, but Heat 2, out of nowhere, climbing 20 positions to finish up in 4th and really stuck it in for the fight there. I mean, that was a climb and a half for you, and I'm sure a lot of hard work.
Yeah, no, it was. I was initially on the grid, and then I was on the wrong tires. So I went back to the pits to change tires, and then it said missed start. I think there wasn't enough time left. But it's just as well, because there was a massive pile-up in turn 1, so I think starting from the pit lane actually helped me.
I've got to say, it was absolutely incredible in watching the climb, but you didn't have too much of an easy one. We've always seen that you could make quick work of the competition, but it looks like the competition have really stepped up this season and are going and really making things a little bit more difficult for you to get past too quickly. A lot of the Pro-Am drivers can take the fight, and I've got to say, it's been incredible stuff. If you had to take a look at the dices that you had right the way through the race, you didn't have much room for a little bit of breathing.
No, it was fighting all the way through. So yeah, it was very intense. Look, usually in the wing cars with aero, where you've got more grip, the field is much closer together lap time wise, so it is more difficult to overtake. So you've got to save your push to pass where you can. I mean, I actually saved some push to pass for the end to defend. Well, so I think that's what made me retain my position.
Well, we saw you fighting with Vawa for quite some time and having to really lean on that push to pass to try and pull you a little bit away from him or close up that gap, where unfortunately he was actually holding into 5th gear and then going into 6th late. But Luke, I mean, you've done quite a bit of racing over the course of this week. You had the Master Series that was out, and you guys had that very, very close racing out there. But now jumping into the IndyCars, totally different monster to what you were driving in the Master Series. 2 weeks' time, another race coming on, and we're going to be really fighting it out. But what is your thoughts of jumping into an IndyCar and getting to race around 1? We had Indianapolis, the home of the Indy 500. Now Daytona, the home of the Daytona 24, which you were on the layout for, and also the Daytona 500.
I think, driving it in the GT3 helps. So you sort of, the track. I mean, I know the track obviously from, before we raced this, but obviously doing it in GT3, I mean, obviously the car's completely different, but with a Master Series where we run different cars all the time, it sort of gives you that ability to just jump into anything and actually switch it on immediately. It's almost like a training kind of thing. And then once you understand how an aero car needs to be driven, then you can pretty much jump in and just drive it like that to try and get the lap time out of it.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at the points scored for your championship and what it means for you at the moment, because we do know round 1 you had a bit of a difficult time. Round 2 was a bit better. You currently lying 10th in the championship, jumping up 3 spots, 1 point off Gerald Ferree. This is just before any penalties or anything is implemented by our stewards. But you climbed up 3 positions into the fight, and now looking to go that little bit further. Do you feel that possibly getting into that top 3 is a thing that can happen? Or do you feel that you want to get into that top 5 for the championship? Because with this being such a short championship with 2 heats per race, there's so much time to gain points, but there's also so much time to lose a lot as well.
Yeah. No, there is. Look, I mean, with these races, especially with these cars, anything can happen. You know, the slightest little bit of contact and your wing is gone and you've got to pit and fix, and then you might have to pit twice. So that can end up, changing up the championship quite a lot. So, yeah, it's a long championship. We'll have to see what happens at the end. Also, the tracks that we're starting to do now are much tighter circuits. So I think the incidents are probably going to go up. So I think it's going to be a case of just surviving, getting a good quali and just keeping the first lap nice and clean, and then just, playing the race out.
Well, that's it. In these cars, all about leaning on the throttle, keeping it all together, and not going and damaging your tires early on, especially on those on the alternative, the red wall tires being the softest. Easy to get flat spots on those. But before we let you go, Luke Lucchese of RDSA Esports and Pantera, anything you would like to say to all our amazing petrol heads out there that were just cheering you guys on, going absolutely mad? I'm sure while you were going right past our virtual grandstands, you could see everyone on the edges of their seat busy shouting from the rooftops. But anything you would like to say to them and all our associate partners here at RaceFace.Pro?
Yes, thanks to all the sponsors. Without you, the series wouldn't happen. Big thanks to you for the commentary. Without you, we wouldn't be able to watch ourselves back on YouTube. Thanks to Doe at RaceFace for organizing everything. Thanks to all the competitors. It's good, nice, clean racing. Thanks to everybody for watching the stream and supporting us. And then a special thanks to my parents who watch every stream. So hope they enjoyed it. And then, my teammates, our sponsors for the team. And that's it.
Absolutely incredible stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I highly recommend, if you want to go have a bit of fun, do look up the Master Series out on Simgrid. You do want to join up with it. Lots and lots of fun that can be had with jumping into a variety of cars, getting to have a bit of fun, and also it's all broadcasted by Second Gear Productions, so you can also re-watch all the action going on. But Luke Lucchese, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Absolutely awesome, and I think a well-deserved glass of Coke is definitely needed after that race.
Yeah, no, 100%. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Luke Lucchese. Absolutely incredible stuff. Well, let's bring up our final interview of the night, and it is the one, the only, Jean van Rensburg. Well, we meet each other again in the commentary box, and how did you feel after that one? Because it was wild. Heat 1 and Heat 2 was literally on top of everyone.
Listen, Steve, firstly, hello there. We've met too soon, if you ask me. But, it definitely felt too good to be true. First heat, it completely fell apart, and I started on the outs, which meant I had to get past the leaders to try and build some form of a gap to maximize my tires, which in doing so I made a mistake, full driver error, disadvantaged Johan, and inevitably I threw it away and I had to just nurse the car home on primes.
Well, I mean, you still kept in there with a fight in Heat 1 and Heat 2. You were still lurking around in the wings. I mean, on screen at the moment, we could see how close you actually were to likes of Jan Ferree, Troy Dolenchek, and you just sliding the car around, keeping on the power. How was the grip level out there? I mean, you come from racing ovals, going and feeling out how slippery things can become. Now you're in a high downforce car, you're battling it out, you've got your teammates shouting in your ears, the manager's shouting out in your ears saying, go, go, go. And suddenly you seeing first, second, and third within arm's reach of you and utilizing those push to passes just to try and grab. What was the grip level out there? What was running through your mind trying to catch everyone and looking to put yourself on the top podium?
Yeah, so the first race obviously was damage limitation after switching to the primes. So I was just trying to nurse them till the end. I was definitely short shifting, keeping a very light right foot throughout, especially all the hairpins, which is essentially every corner here. Anyway, and then in the second race on both tires, I just nursed it. And here and there, if you had to use more tire, then you just stepped on it and you could really make use of the tire. Grip levels overall, I would say, weren't the best, but to me that works well. I like a car that slides around a lot. I just feel at home, I would say. Even in the rain last week, I felt fairly at home. So to me it worked out, but the grip levels weren't the best we've seen yet this season.
Yeah, no, it's been a wild one. Well, before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to all the amazing petrol heads out there watching live and watching in the future, and all our partners here at RaceFace.Pro that we're cheering on? Because I'm sure while you were driving past and looking at the grandstands, just seeing everyone in the virtual grandstands cheering you on at the edges of their seats while the fights were going on was one hell of a thing to see.
So from my side, the guys that are watching these streams and saying, oh, I want to get involved in this, but oh, it might be expensive or whatever the likes of that might be, is get involved. You can get a very basic setup. It doesn't have to be a rig, and just start racing. When I started 10 years ago, the guys that I'm somewhat battling now, they were lapping me once or twice a race. So get in there, get part of it. Obviously, the sponsors involved nowadays are, it's definitely a different scale to what it was 10 years ago. So thanks to those guys supporting and trusting the hobby and the sport, I would say. And obviously to the teammates, the teamwork was phenomenal, even though I might have been shouting at the manager, but we won't delve into that just yet. That's what the debrief is for. And obviously to you, Steve, thanks for what you do for us.
Well, thank you very much, and well done, and what a race it was, and I look forward to seeing in 2 weeks' time you taking the fight to the top order. But I mean, if we take a look at the provisional championship standings for for our pros, you're running second at the moment on 175 points, right behind Jan Ferrari. So there's an opportunity here to gain some valuable points, but you're sitting in that second place. But Alex Moore will be right on your tail along with Troy Dolanchik. So do you feel that the pressure's now on as time's starting to tick on by?
I think it's too early in the season to really look at the championship. Obviously, you want to see who your rivals are, who you're inevitably fighting for the championship. But if we look at Formula 1 at the beginning of the year, they said it's Max's championship. And consistency paid off for the likes of Norris and Piastri. So at the moment, I'm banking on consistency and not race pace. And if we can get a top 5 at the end of the season, we'll be mostly grateful.
Well, absolutely incredible stuff. Mr. van Rensburg, before anything, I'd like to say thank you very, very much for joining us. And it's absolutely great to have you around. And I hope to see you next week with our GT3s. And in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back with some of the IndyCar action. Team Slowpoke's going to need to work a little bit harder to try and get that 1, 2, 3 that has been just so elusive at the moment.
Definitely, Steve. There is some work to do. We have been working hard behind the scenes. Unfortunately, some factors out of my control has been really limiting me practicing. And obviously the special events coming up like the Bathurst 1000 and the Petit Le Mans. Juggling it all along with GT3 and IndyCar, there's a lot of racing going on. Regardless, no excuses. We have to put in some work behind the scenes and hope to really take our pace up just that slight notch that we were missing today.
Well, absolutely incredible stuff. Well, thank you very much, Mr. van Rensburg, and go and enjoy the celebrations with the team.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Keep on. Ciao, ciao.
Cheers. All absolutely incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And we have seen it all. But this does bring us to the end of our round 2 here at Daytona International Speedway for our RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Sprint Series Season 1. And I've got to say, it's been an absolute honor being here in the THT commentary box, going and chatting to you guys and watching all the close racing, nose to tail, all the way through with some of the best IndyCar action you can see. See what happens. You put a South African in an IndyCar or a UK driver into an IndyCar, it gets absolutely wild. You put the Americans in, but different story. But absolutely incredible stuff. We're looking forward to plenty more racing, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon as well. Next week we will be returning with some GT3 action as we look to have a bit of fun. And also we will be going and fighting it out with our IndyCars in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, we will be heading out to Road America for our drivers to really give it everything they got. It's going to be a wild one out there and some heavy braking zones to try and keep these cars on par. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here at RaceFace.Pro. And like always, a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. With all the amazing racing that comes to you weekly, we have to give acknowledgement to our sponsors. Without them, this would not be possible here at RaceFace.Pro. So starting off with our first sponsor, let's go and take your hats off to PokerBet. For all the tournaments, for all the cash games, daily free rolls, and sports betting, there's no better place to be and win with PokerBet. With it all revved up and you're looking for high speed, whether you're into drag, drift, or even long circuit, Red Star Raceway has got you covered. As we take a look off to all our machinery needs, head over to Oddendorf Machinery Mart. Remember to keep it slick with SA Lube, 20 years of Castrol distribution. Sliding in to keep you on your toes, Scallywags Drift Academy will keep you right at the top of the pack. And if you're looking for all your streaming needs, head over to Tenvo Tech for all the overlays. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been an honor having you. We'll see you next time right here from the THT